So, I've played the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer beta for several hours now, and it's time to share my initial impressions. The gameplay you're seeing is from the new War game mode, an objective match where you've got to either defend or attack with specific things to do. In this case, if you're the Germans, you've got to defend against the Americans, building a bridge, blowing up your ammo dump and blowing up your flak guns, and if you're the Americans, you've got to attack. And it's very exciting to play, innovative, and a very exciting addition to Call of Duty. So let's start off with the graphics. Well, you can see them here, obviously on the video, but just remember that things always look better on YouTube because it's smaller and more compressed. But they are good. I would say they're definitely on par with Black Ops 3. Think of the multiplayer snow level in Black Ops 3 multiplayer, where you've got that burning tank at one end and you've got like the Inception type landscape where it's folded up on itself. Very similar to that. It's way better than Infinite Warfare, which looked terrible. I'd say it's not quite as gritty and realistic as Battlefield 1. It's not that the graphics are worse, they're just different. It's a different style, but it all runs very, very smoothly on my normal PlayStation 4. And the maps all really look good. And I'm not talking about what's in the maps themselves, but the immediate environments as well. So when you're looking out of the maps, you feel like you're part of a larger war. You can see warships in the sea, burning tanks all around, and aircraft flying over, all that stuff. In fact, I would say it definitely has a bit of a Treyarch feel to it, which is definitely a good thing. Sound-wise, the guns and explosions sound great. There's a real heft to those types of sounds. Now, I'm not too sure about some of the soldier sounds. The bayonet charge shout sounds like someone having a bit of a difficult poo, and the announcer call-outs, I think, should have stronger accents. You know, the Germans should really be, they're taking Alpha and all that sort of stuff, but he's not. He's got a bit of a middling accent, but that's, you know, it's just this game goes out to millions of people, doesn't it? So I think that aspect of the sound design isn't as good and as immersive as in Battlefield 1. Now, let's talk perks. They've been simplified a little bit in the fact that you can choose one of 5 divisions, with each having different perks as you level up. And you don't get to choose the perks, they just get added to your soldier automatically. And you've got the usual kind of assault, sniper and heavy type classes. Now you also rank up separately as a soldier, which gives you access to different guns. And then you level up each gun separately to get access to the different attachments for that gun. And there's also an extra perk called Basic Training, which includes the options of the equivalents of things like Scavenger, Overkill, Gung-Ho and things like that. If it all sounds a bit complicated, don't worry. It's the usual Call of Duty thing of the more you play, the better weapons you get, and the more you play, the better attachments and perks in classes you get. Now, the gunplay, so important. I'm loving the feel of all of the types of guns. You know, very unusually for me, I normally just like pick an assault rifle, but I've got kills from SMGs, ordinary rifles, automatic rifles, light machine guns, even sniper rifles, and I even had a quick go on a shotgun as well. Of course, there's plenty of attachments, but you're kind of limited to 2, I think, for most of the classes. I think if you play as infantry, you can get an extra one. Which of course you have to unlock, and as you unlock them you get things like grips, quick draw grips, different sights, and they make the guns better, more manageable and easier to use. But I'd say my favourite weapons so far have been the Garand, the STG-44 and the Grease Gun, the first submachine gun you get. The time to kill is of course much faster than in a Battlefield 1 game, because this of course is Call of Duty. But it's different to Infinite Warfare, because in Infinite Warfare it was terribly inconsistent. You couldn't figure out why you died a lot of the time. You think, well, wait a minute, I fired more bullets into him than he did to me. Whereas this seems consistent and fair. If you get on target and start firing first, you'll win that gunfight. But if you're a bit slow, you'll be dead. There are no second chances. Map design? I mean, I'm still getting to know the maps, but the layouts do seem logical and have a logical flow. And really importantly, if you look at the minimap, you can work out roughly where the enemies are spawning from and coming from. At the moment, I prefer Ardennes and Gibraltar because they seem more linear, whereas Point de Hoc is more of a round map, so kind of it's a bit more chaotic. And if the rest of the maps we get with World War II COD are as good as this, I'll be very pleased. Gameplay. Okay, so I'm into the second day of the beta, and I've got to say I'm liking it more and more. Having finally started to go consistently positive in team deathmatch, and I actually came out top of our team in one game even though we did lose. Of course, most players are running around like headless chickens, just charging towards the enemies in this rapid cycle of die, respawn, and at the best all they're doing is trading kills. But if you slow down a little, if you check that mini-map, if you pre-aim, and most importantly, put your cans on and listen out for the enemies, you can play a lot more tactically than in Infinite Warfare, and probably more than Black Ops 3 as well. The preponderance of cover definitely helps, but the biggest change obviously is that enemies can no longer boost, double jump, slide or wall run out of the way, which is great for us older players, but it means that the tryhards are limited to doing the old Black Ops 2 jump and fire around corners, which is really fun to see. I do think the fixed position light machine guns are overpowered. If you come up against a light machine gun that's on the side of a bunker or on a tank like you're seeing in the war footage, you know, you're dead. Good things though, so far I haven't been quickscoped, the bane of Black Ops 2, which was a fantastic game but I couldn't stand the quickscoping. There hasn't been too much grenade spam either. The kill streaks have been avoidable. I've probably been killed a handful of times by the guided bombs, and the spawns have been pretty good as well. Haven't they like spawned next to an enemy? In fact, there's only one time I think I spawned next to an enemy and I shot him straight away. So, my first impressions after playing several hours is that Call of Duty World War II, the multiplayer anyway, is a good, solid Call of Duty shooter. It looks good, sounds good, and plays good. If you've previously enjoyed Call of Duty, you'll definitely enjoy this one. If you're into Battlefield, however, you've got to bear in mind this game is a lot faster, the maps are much smaller, and the gunplay, you know, you're right on top of each other. Think of this as the last 10 seconds of a Battlefield engagement, and missing out, you know, the previous minute of running towards, thinking tactically, being in vehicles and things like that. The addition of the war game mode, which again you're seeing at the moment, is fantastic, and even shows DICE, the Battlefield developers, what they could be doing with their games. So instead of just running around and capturing areas, you're physically doing something. And I don't know whether you'll catch it in the video, but you'll see obviously there's the obvious thing like trying to build the bridge and defend the bridge, but also even in the ammo dump you can build walls around the ammo dump. Dunk dunk dunk. I'm not sure about the animations of how they do it. It seems very zombies like, but it's a lovely addition. So I'm really pleased as well that as I'm playing it I'm getting better. You know, my KD ratio is going up, and as I'm getting better I want to play it more, and that is a very big thumbs up in my book. Okay, that's enough from me for now. What do you think? Have you played the beta? Put what you think down below. What do you think about looking at it? Are you thinking about getting Call of Duty World War II? Or are you thinking, no, I've had enough of Call of Duty, I just want to play Battlefield or the other Call of Duties? If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
One minute left. Keep our ammo supply safe. Disarm the bomb. 30 seconds left. Deactivate the bomb. Quickly, disarm the bomb. 10 seconds left. The enemies have destroyed our ammo supply, but the battle is far from over. Keep the enemy from escorting their tank within range of our flag. The enemy tank is advancing. The tank is on the move. They destroyed one of our flag guns. advancing. Kill the soldiers around that tank. The tank is retreating. The enemy tank is advancing. The tank is on the move. Don't let them destroy our flak guns. The tank is advancing. The tank is backing up. The enemy tank is advancing. Kill the soldiers around that tank. The tank is retreating. The tank is pulling back. The tank is on the move. Get here. Their tank is advancing. Keep them from destroying the flag. The enemy tank is advancing. The tank is on the move. Ammo the infantry near the tree. Failed. The enemy destroyed our flak guns. Now their aircraft will bomb our forces.